How are you? How's your?
Good morning.
Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to share my screen. Oh, CJ, nice to see you. Okay.
Ryan said he's watching it outside.
Okay. Can you guys see the screen now? I need like a vat of white. Someone to like do all this.
You blow out my hair next time.
You wear a ball gown.
Sure.
You wear a wig?
Of course.
Does she wear a wig?
I don't know. I think she does. She can't have hair like that.
No, I feel like she just, that's like her.
Unless she has some bias in her that kill, we don't know though.
All right, I did it. Woo, sweating a little there. Hi, everyone. Oh, it's so nice to see a full conference room. For those of you that are not here, we miss you. How's everybody? Quiet room. How you doing, Maria?
Busy, very busy.
I have 100 offers.
You have 10.
10
And
offers.
yesterday somebody called me and said, I give you for 25. And I'm like,
And it's listed for what?
395. I'm already under contract.
Okay, so speaking of which, this is so weird, I don't know where to look, but that's okay. I was talking to you and James, another agent in the office, about a lot of what's happening now is people are making offers, especially New Yorkers. And what they're doing is they're expecting to request, so they're going in over asking just to secure the property, and then they're asking for huge credits.
Or the appraisal.
Or they just, right. So for those of us that are listing homes, or even if you are representing a buyer, those are things that I want you guys to know about so you can possibly even talk to the other agent about it. Okay, so all that being said, let's get started. You guys can see this right behind me? So weird. Okay, so first let's start with.
There's a big message in the middle of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course.
You don't want to hear audio.
So I don't know if Kyle's on the phone, but Kyle had promised me, because he had a good success story. He's on a showing right now in Loxahatchee, but I would love to hear anyone's stories about what's happening in the market. There's a lot going on. Anastasia.
What? No way.
I mean, you're writing what, your third offer this morning?
Yeah, but we don't know what's gonna happen. Let's not talk about it because then it won't.
Okay. Okay, we won't talk about it. We won't jinx it. Anyone else have anything that's going on in their world that they want to share about calls that they're making or anything else? Okay, how about this? I'm going to keep talking, and then at the end of the call, when you guys are warmed up, then maybe somebody will be willing to talk. All right. Market check-in. So I want to talk about stats, right? So as we all know, March, April, and May, pending sales and closed sales were down. Obviously, there was a lot of circumstances
Yeah.
that contributed to that. Good news is in June, we are back. Pending sales are up, closed sales are up. The data was most interesting, I think, because single family homes had the highest increase, right? It doesn't mean that condos and villas don't, but just single family homes were most impacted.
It makes sense.
And which makes sense. On the next slide, I have some quotes about why that is, but I think we all know a lot of people want more space. They want to have outdoors. Condos and villas don't necessarily provide that. What a lot of people are saying is the worst is behind us. For those of us right now that are working with multiple offers, I think a lot of us are feeling the fact of the next line, which is that there's not a lot of inventory, which means that there are multiple offers, and it means that prices are rising too. So as we all know, there are some factors that are very market specific as far as what's happening locally. So we're not the same as a market in Michigan or in California or anywhere else. We're in a market where the climate is good pretty much all year round. We have outdoor living. Considering what's happening in the world and the fact that closed spaces are dangerous, really, we're going to continue to feel this, right? That's important for each and every one of you, because when you are working with your buyers, you need them to understand that and to be realistic. A lot of you are coming and giving me feedback about offers that you're putting out that often aren't as attractive as maybe they should be. Now, it's your job. There's two parts to this. Part number one, it's your job to set realistic expectations. But part number two is it's your job to go on the kind of like a fact-finding mission. You need to ask the right questions. Don't bother putting an offer in if you haven't asked the listing agent if there are other offers, if there are multiple offers, if you're competing against cash offers. Try to get as much as you can so that you can put your buyer in the right position to secure the deal, right? From an inventory perspective, the next time somebody tells you, oh, that's not true, this is your response. Compared to the amount of listings last year, we are down 18%. That is absolutely a staggering number. And considering that I just told you that our pending sales and our closed sales are higher, but our inventory is 20% lower, what does that mean? That means every single listing is going to be more competitive. Housing demand is strong, low rates, low inventory. Oh, this was interesting. For luxury buyers, there is a lot more inventory in that category. The next few months, if you do have buyers that are over that price, in that like $1 million and up price point, they have more power than the buyers that are under that price. Don't necessarily tell them that, but it's true. Okay. So these are some good quotes that I found. Can you guys see what I can see? No, you can't. Okay.
So just a quick question before you go on to this.
Yeah.
Right now, considering your inventory is really low, what are we doing right now to figure out another solution to find homes for these people? Are we looking at new construction? Is that something we're doing as well or not?
You're asking me? I mean, I think I should ask you. I don't know. I mean, is anybody looking at new construction? I mean, the problem is that if you look at the data and all the news articles, there's an under construction happening right now when it comes to new builds.
Even for new construction.
Even with new construction, there's not a lot of it. But I do think that's a good point in the sense that for those of you that are working with buyers and there are no resales, the little new construction that we have, you guys should all be considering that and bringing it up. Don't ignore it. What happens is, like it kind of happened with you a little bit. I'm pointing to Anastasia. She had a buyer that she was showing resales to. Without her knowing, the buyer went to a new build, right? Luckily, you were on top of it and you asked and you found out and you were able to go register, which will protect you and you will not earn a commission. Had you called one day later, because in that case, there was a 48-hour time window when you were allowed to register, you would have lost all of that commission, right? So every single one of us, when we are working with buyers and we're finding that the resales don't have what that our clients want, you have to be the one to bring it up. So what I mean by that is for you, Anastasia, you could have said to Lula, hey, if you do consider new construction, please make sure that you tell me before you go into the builder community. You can also give them an incentive. Let them know that there's less work that we need to do. So when a buyer goes and buys from a builder, we don't have to negotiate. We don't have to schedule inspections. There's a lot less that we're doing. And because of that, we should offer them an incentive. If you go to the developer's office and register me as your realtor, I'll give you back 20% of whatever the commission is that the developer pays me. So give them a reason. I mean, if there's no relationship there, that will help you ensure their commitment. And the truth is that it is a lot less work for us. It truly is, for those of you that have sold there.
Yeah, the reason I was asking for that, because up by us, our inventory is between 2 to 3 months out in retail. But as far as new construction, we have a lot of new construction going.
We don't necessarily have as much.
Right.
Our inventory, we're at about a month and a half to 2.
Wow.
Healthy markets are at about 6. So that tells you how little inventory we have. And again, all of this information is what you should be using to educate and inform the clients that you're working with so that you can do a better job. So these quotes, it used to be about location, location, location. Now it's about space. It's about a work, live, play space. Before, kids could go to the park, they can go to playgrounds or community centers. Now they can't. And so it's important for families and kids to have spaces of their own yards, their own pools, where they're safe and secure. Okay, that's our market check-in. I want to talk a little bit about mindset. So the next couple of slides. Next couple of slides are about mindset. This is actually an image that Kyle sent me. I thought it was kind of interesting. And I want to remind you guys, especially for those of you that are newer as far as prospecting and making calls. Real estate is absolutely 1000%. Are you good with your water?
Yes.
Thank you. It's absolutely a mental game. And you guys need to understand that it's mental.
Yeah.
The hard work is mental. And what I mean by that is you have to continue to tell yourself to keep going, to keep pushing. It can be completely draining. I'm going to tell you 3 things that I think are totally key. Thank you so much. As far as having the right mindset and continuing to push when you feel like you don't want to anymore. So these are my 3 suggestions. Suggestion number 1. There is more than enough for any one agent. It is absolutely impossible for any one agent to have every single owner, buyer, seller. It's just impossible. Business, I need you guys to understand, and your mindset needs to be that it is unlimited. There's more than enough for any one agent to handle for the rest of their lives. There is no such thing as competition. Not only that, you might talk with someone today and they might say, I'm never going to buy or sell real estate, and next week something completely changes. When you have the mentality of it being unlimited and you come from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, you're going to find yourself finding more opportunities. I don't want you operating from a place of fear and a place of lack. There's more than enough. I just talked about the fact that how hot our market is. This should be even more emphasis to you that you guys are in the right place, doing the right thing. The opportunity is yours for the taking. When you put your mind around the fact that it's unlimited, I think you'll feel a different approach when you're prospecting. That's my key. That's my first key. My second key. There are hundreds of transactions every single day. And the reason why I want you to think about this is because none of us need hundreds. We can't possibly manage hundreds. All you need are 2, 3, or 4, maybe 5, 6, whatever it might be. But regardless of what's happening in the market, so this slide actually, let's assume for a second things weren't so hot, I would still be talking about this because closings never stop. People always need a place to live. Just the reality. People are always changing situations, families building, growing, getting bigger, getting smaller, all kinds of things, right? The opportunities are completely endless. So when you think about it and you approach your day like that it's unlimited and that there are hundreds of transactions and all you need to do is find 2 or 3 of them, I think it should shift your mindset. The third thing is that I want you guys to value relationships over deals. Even when it comes to leads, you need to take every single prospect and treat them like a lifelong client. It's not a one and done. They have to feel and know that you care. That is how you're going to build your database of people that know you, like you, and trust you. Yesterday, I got a text from a broker. Some of you guys met her, Marie Manguda at the Mandarin Oriental. So this is a broker that I was introduced to, I think 5 years ago. And she worked on site at the Mandarin Oriental in Delray, and then she worked in Miami. And I was just introduced to her. We never worked together. She never worked for me. But for some reason, not for some reason, but she likes this. She likes our company and she likes the way we work. And yesterday out of nowhere, she's texted me her 3rd referral for an agent to work here. So she met me 5 years ago. I told her about what we do. And since then, she remembers me, right? And she sent me a text, hey, Jordan, I hope you're doing great. I have a new agent. I'm going to give them your information. They want to sign on with you. I mean, I don't even remember her really ever talking to her that much. And that's just, my world, in the broker world, right? But for you guys, think about how that can happen to you, right? When you do good for other people, they will want to do good for you. So I don't want you getting too much pressure or stress or feeling like, oh my God, you have to sell. Worry more about truly solving their problems, truly listening to them, truly caring. That's how they will, if they don't work with you, that's okay. They will know somebody and they will refer you. So those are my 3 keys. Who remembers them? What's key number 1?
Oh, no, I took pictures.
Is anyone out there on the Zoom switch? Does anyone remember a key?
Think unlimited.
The first one is unlimited. There's unlimited opportunities for us all. The second one is, I forgot, hundreds. There are hundreds of transactions on a monthly basis here in South Florida. All you need to do is find a couple. And the third is relationships over deals. So,
Can I say something about that real quick?
yeah,
Most of my business guys are from referrals. And it's part of my coaching that I'm doing is going after the people that I know. Well, not going after, but building a relationship with them. Staying in contact with them, calling them. And this year, my business has increased just from that. You know, so you really have to take advantage of the opportunities you have that you don't follow up with or you don't really realize.
I think it's also about nurturing at the same, like while, for those of us that are working leads and constantly prospecting, that's an absolutely like critical part. But at the same time that you're doing that, you have to nurture your existing database by sending them, whether it's a weekly newsletter, a monthly newsletter. I know, Michelle, you made gift baskets and delivered them, and that resulted in a bunch of referrals for you. Those are the types of things that all of us need to be doing.
I got 2 buy and sell.
And there's
You got 2 buy and sales.
Yeah, I'm getting them. Yeah, we're in the work.
And here's the other opportunity for you guys too. Right now, a lot of agents are sitting down and not going out there and prospecting because of this whole COVID thing. Most companies and businesses that are successful today all started bad economies and bad times. Take the opportunity for this right now, while everybody's sitting on the sidelines, for you to grow your business, increase your business opportunities. You'll see when this over, your business is gonna.
Absolutely. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to sum it up. So every single day, I want you to continue to try. I want you to realize that business is unlimited. Closings are happening every day. And your job is to create and maintain relationships, not just close deals. As soon as you realize that, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like the pressure lifts a little bit. It becomes more about helping people, and you're not as worried about your bottom line, because that will come, I promise. The other thing about mindset, which isn't in here, but I want to talk about, especially for some of you guys that are newer in real estate, I want you, and even for those of us that aren't new, specifically when you're working with leads, not as much for a referral business, but for leads, when you first talk to them, it is absolutely critical that your mindset is, how do I get them to the next step in the cycle, right? There is a very clear cycle of real estate, right? Lead to showing, to contract, to closing. Those are like, I would say, the 4 main categories, right? So when you first talk to them and you first engage that lead, you want to think about, how do I get them to the point of the showing or face-to-face, whether they come in here and we look at properties together. And then once you're on the showings, your mind should be thinking about, how do I get them to the contract? And then once you're in the contract, how do you get them to close? So some of you, there are a lot of good numbers right now. For those of you that have high numbers, but not as many showings, you want to think about, what can you do differently to get people to show? And the answer is usually simple. The answer is usually just ask, hey, would you like to go see this home? I know you're not ready, but why don't we go take a look at this house so you can get a better idea for the market, just to give you that opportunity to meet them face to face. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about some stuff in sync. I feel like my hair looks funny. When you put your own leads in, like Lee, I noticed you did, which is great. Congratulations for doing that. Make sure you put the agent generated label on. I went and did it for you.
Okay.
I added that label onto it. The reason why is because we're going to be doing your counts and we're looking at your numbers from a company generated perspective. I don't want to count your own leads because those are yours and we don't want to touch them. So the way that you make sure no one touches your own leads is you put this label on. Next, whether it's myself or Steve or anyone actually, if we send a note to you in sync and we say, hey, so-and-so, would you mind calling, or can you find out what's happening? We expect a response back.
But isn't the note already a response? I mean, if we
Yes.
call and we put a note, sticky.
Correct. Well, so
But you're not notified.
You have to
Just
notify
notify.
that.
so I'm not talking about stickies. What will often happen and will continue to happen is that whether it's me or Steve, or if we have an ISA in the future, if somebody else is in sync, what we're trying to do is help uncover the opportunities and deliver it to you. So like Steve and I were meeting this morning, and there was a lead that came in like 500 days ago, but logged in 30 days ago, which to me means maybe there's a need there. So what I want to do in that case is say, hey, Maria, can you call this person? And sometimes we'll give you the reason, oh, because they logged in or because they did this. Mm-hmm. When those go out to you, the expectation is that you are going to say, when you call them and you put your note in, just notify us so we know that it's been handled. Otherwise, the concern is there are certain people that always, when I do this, there are certain people that always notify me back, and I will choose them. When there is an opportunity that presents itself that I see a lead that will write a general email or will ask for something and I get that information, I will give it to the people that I know are responsive. So my request to you guys is to be responsive and to know the expectation that if there is a request to, hey, can you clear the reminder or can you do so-and-so? I don't want to add more work, but just,
That's what I think it is for me. Because
But no, but it's not, though.
I'm
If-
driving. So
Right.
sometimes I'm driving, and what I do is, you can talk to the phone, but it's dangerous if I keep, adding people.
I don't want you endangering anyone. And
But that's how I work.
No,
I work from my phone.
I know you work from your phone. I don't want you endangering anyone or texting while driving. So let me preface this with do not endanger yourself at all. However, the expectation is, and it doesn't have to be immediate. I'm not saying it has to be right then and there. All I'm saying is that there has to be, if there's a note that goes to you, Maria, let's say, I don't know, 2 o'clock. Maybe by the time you get around to it, it's 6. When you go in and say, tried to call, no answer, just choose whether it's me or whether it's Steve, so that way we know that you are, when we are asking for a reach, what's it called, an attempt,
Follow up, yeah.
that, you know what I
So
mean?
even if they don't answer, we have to tag you, like.
Tag, I mean, to some degree,
I mean, I
yes.
understand if we put a note and it says something, but for voicemail.
Yeah, listen, use your best discretion. If there's a voicemail, then do it. And remember, by the way, voicemails we should not be leaving for any prospects unless they are an actual client.
No, but what I mean is when they call, I just put voice and leave that.
Oh,
get
you
their voicemail.
got the voicemail. Got it. Yeah, listen, I don't want to be tedious and I'm not trying to add to your plate, but there does have to be a certain element of teamwork. And so if there is a particular lead, or there are leads all the time that are opportunities, and we know that because of certain actions that are happening, right? And if I want to pass it out to you guys, I need to know that you guys are handling it. Okay, another thing. I'm seeing notes, if a lead says to you, please don't call me anymore, I told you already, do not leave it in the pond, because the pond is a place where we're going to fish, right, to find deals. So I don't want to think about your other teammates, right? Think about somebody else going in the next day and calling that same lead. So remember there is a Taylor pond, which nobody will ever call. They will receive emails and property alerts, but they will not get called. And then there is trash. Trash is somebody that is really rude to you or is not the right person and you're sure of it. So think of Taylor kind of like a purgatory and trash is like the final.
Is Taylor text?
Does Taylor text? Yes. Taylor is set up. Oh wait, is it set up for behavioral messages?
No,
No.
right? Because some people say.
It's not.
Texting me.
Yeah, it's not. Okay, other things that I need you guys to help with in sync to make our system better. If the phone number is wrong, make sure you put the buyer wrong number label and you X out the little phone, because that way when you use a filter, that phone number that lead will not pop up. Does that make sense?
What's the X? I know the little yellow.
That's what it
That's
is.
it.
Okay.
That's it.
Just
So
not
if the
being
phone
able
number is wrong, just click the button that says like the
Mhm.
prohibited sign.
Okay.
And keep in mind, this may seem like it might be a little bit extra work, but in the long run, it's actually gonna make it more
Right,
efficient.
that's-
for
Wait, no,
all
this is not
members.
extra work. This is all Dr. PSNL. This is
No,
all
no,
the, yeah.
I'm not saying, it may appear that way. All I'm saying is that the goal here is to make everything much more efficient and smoother, and in this way you guys can get more leads and more business out of it. That's what we're trying to
You
do.
don't waste
But
time
they're
calling
calling
a bad number.
Exactly.
Not usually a wrong number. A wrong number when I say
Yeah.
this is unavailable or this phone doesn't, whatever. But there is people who tell you this is not me, but it's the person. So I have to put it as a wrong number.
Right.
If it happens to me, I have one lady named Vicky. She's a wrong number, but she kept emailing me and she told me, listen, I have to take my phone because everybody keeps calling me.
Right. So good point. When you're putting any of these, whether it's a label on or you're Xing something out, try and be as sure of it as you possibly can. For those of you also that are in sync and that are seeing labels, there are labels that are no longer going to be accurate, remove them. So if there's an attempted label, but then somebody after that label was put on, maybe the next week, reach them, remove the label. All of our efforts to continue to make sync as accurate as possible is only going to help us. Some of you guys will send me Slacks and say, oh, please ask this and this. Does anyone else, while we're in this meeting, is there anything that any of you have noticed while in sync that you want to ask other people to pay attention to?
The emails,
What about the emails?
because the emails come in, it's about 50-50 that they'll come in as invalid. If everybody could just get in the habit of going ahead and marking those as valid, because 9 times out of 10, they are valid.
Oh, you have
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
The only email, what is it called? The email that Sync truly recognizes is Gmail. Every other time, like Yahoo, AOL, SBC Global, Opt Online, all of those email addresses for some reason give like a negative ping back to Sync, and they mark it as invalid.
Yeah.
So just get in the habit of when it says invalid, just click it until it's
But
a check mark.
sometimes it's just that, like com, and instead of com, they put CON. So
Exactly.
You know right away.
So just get in the
that
habit
it's
of
just,
checking it.
Isn't that awkward?
Because if we put that buyer wrong number label on, and the number or the email is fine, but we don't check it as invalid, they're not going to be sent any drips or any emails or property alerts.
Correct. Anything else anyone has to request?
Just one thing on the emails too, I noticed sometimes the person's name might be misspelled a little bit. So just also double check that, because I've noticed a couple of times the last name was there. So the first name and last name at, let's say example, like Gmail, person's name was missing a letter. So like when I sent in that note, I said, hey, by the way, make sure you correct the email address because it looks like it's been,
Yeah, or if the name has like if the first two letters are like capitals, it's going to look really silly. You know what I mean? When you send somebody a message. So you can hit the edit tab. It's the second tab where it says info, and edit it and make their name correct. Okay, let's keep going. Policy reminders, first of all. This is Steve right here. He's the enforcer. Okay, so in order for us to grow, right? In order for us to have more opportunities, more sales, better company resources, all of these things are things that I'm pushing for every single damn day. In order for that to happen, I need all of you guys to, as much as possible, abide by our policies, which are meant to protect the team and the team members and the team as a whole. So Steve and I met yesterday. We talked about these 3 policies, and I want you guys to start thinking about this and paying attention to this. The first thing is, I think most of you guys know I'm in this group of masterminds, so to speak, other brokers that run similar teams. And they all max their agents out at around 25 leads. The thought process behind why is because you really can only work 25 people at a time. Now, I felt differently and felt that there are going to be leads that you're going to want to put on a drip or set a reminder for, and I made it 100. Please continue. Most of you, there's like maybe 2 or 3 offenders. Most of you are really good about it, and almost everyone is at 100 or less. Please make sure that if there's a lead that has gone cold or that you decide you don't want to work with, or for whatever the reason is, if you can't work them, please move them to the pond or notify either me or Steve so we can reassign it to somebody else. If there's a French-speaking lead or a Spanish-speaking lead or just a lead that you don't like, that's okay. Just let us know and we'll move it to somebody else. So I've asked him, just so you guys know, to track that and check it to make sure that everyone is consistently at that number or lower. The second policy is a policy that I am itching to change. It's a 90-day policy. The policy basically means that if you're on live leads, right? So if the company is paying for your phone to ring, and if you're accessing the pond, the expectation is that you should be closing at least 1 every 90 days. But then I realized that's not really what I want. I don't want you guys closing 1 every 90 days. It should be 1 every 30 days. So that's what the policy should be, right? So eventually I'm going to change it to that, right? Why would I set a policy up that I don't want? I mean, that's not what I want. That's the absolute like bare minimum. There are so many, there's 20,000 leads right now in Sync. We're getting 800 leads per month. Some of you guys are getting more than 50 leads per month, right? Like individually as agents. If every one of us should be able to close at least 1. So in the very near future, and as all of us get better, and as I continue to hire well and the right people step up, this policy will soon become a 30-day policy, which basically means that if you're not closing every 30 days, then you're not going to be eligible for live leads. Okay. The next one is a 3-strike policy. This is standard. It's to make sure that you guys are following the things that we all know we need to follow. I'll remind you what Dr. PSNL is. Make sure you're checking the drips. R is make sure you have a reminder. P is make sure the property alerts are accurate. S is the status, and our notes and labels. So before, I know it gets overwhelming when you're in Sync. I feel the same way. I'm like, there's so many leads to update. But try and focus on that one that's in front of you and make sure it's as accurate as possible. What if we find Other parts of the 3-strike policy. And by the way, the idea is that in a week period, if you get 3 strikes, then you're off leads, is kind of what the idea is. When we first like enforced this, I don't know, months ago, it was crazy. The immediate response was that there all of a sudden were no new leads. What I mean new is in the mornings, right? Reminders are being set and everyone's performance was much better. So I've asked Steve to be relatively nice about it, but also not nice in the sense that if it's the same offenders consistently who aren't calling their leads the required number of times, right? It's very simple for us. We have a filter that's set up that anyone that's registered over 2 days ago in attempted status, they have to be called over 6 times. And if not, you'll get a note. Hey, why haven't you called? Or you won't get a note and I'll just ask somebody else to call, which I did yesterday. Lastly, this isn't as much a policy, it's more of a status. I restrict leads. If you want to be eligible for leads over 750, you must have 3 pendings. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
For
old.
example, today there was a lead that I saw that came in that registered 13 days ago and no one called. So I reassigned it.
Okay, that's not cool. Does anybody have any questions about any of these policies? What?
Not cool.
I feel this is old. This is from July, and next week I'll give you guys the August. Wait, what month are we in?
We're in July.
I don't know.
August.
This should have said June. Next month we'll say August. Wait. Okay, this slide in front of us at the moment is for the June top producers, which I announced in July. Why am I saying it like that? So in the first week of August, I will announce the people that are eligible that have 3 transactions or more for those higher price leads for the month of August. The rest is about the event, which this is all old. Oh, you know what though? Let me just do this real quick. Some of us are, which is awesome. Nicola just got 2 listings. Congrats to Nicola. I know a lot of other people are working on listings. I want to remind you, when you get a new listing and you complete the transaction cover sheet, check the box that says new listing, and that will trigger your marketing, right? The company helps you market your listings, which includes a website, landing pages. Courtney will do an Instagram and a Facebook post. I will do an email blast, otherwise known as blast. And then I will reverse market. Let me tell you guys quickly, because I feel like there is some confusion on what reverse marketing is. So for Nicola's property, it's a condo in Aventura, right? She did the transaction cover sheet yesterday. The home won't be listed, I don't think, until like tomorrow. So yesterday, I added it into sync, and then I clicked a little button, and it gave me all the leads that looked at similar properties. I click another button, and I email them. As the broker, I say, hey, we have a new listing, it matches your needs. You want to set up a showing, and if this is not what you're looking for, can I change your search criteria? Okay, so I do that. Then I send an email. The email has an Excel spreadsheet. I don't know if Nicola's on the phone, but I'm wondering if it worked yesterday. I send her a spreadsheet, or whoever's listing it is, and it's an Excel. It's a little bit tricky to use. If you need help, let me know. It's a CSV file, and it has all of the names of the leads and the phone numbers that are in the pond or assigned to you, which means that somebody else isn't calling your people. They're only calling the pond and or their own leads. And what they're doing is they're saying, oh, you probably got an email yesterday. We have a new listing. It's coming to the market soon. It's a hot market. Do you want to take a look at it before it's listed? Okay. Any questions about any of those things?
No.
Has anyone thought of their success story? I gave you guys the whole, oh, Michelle has one, yay.
Well, I just want to introduce Bridget.
Oh.
She started.
Hi, Bridget.
She's like this.
I'm happy that she's joined the team and looking forward to having her be helping me grow.
Cool. Anyone else have a success story? Come on, Marie, I know you've got like 1,500.
I have that one, but you know, I think my success in that story was coming soon. I used the coming soon on Thursday before I actually went live active on Monday, and I have so many phone calls, text messages.
Or from realtors or from buyers?
From both.
Both. That's how you double-ended it, right?
Yes, I have.
You didn't do a cover sheet, by the way.
I did not, right?
It's
I have
not on the leaderboard. If you want to get on the leaderboard, do a cover sheet.
I have a total of 56 showings.
That is
But that was
insane.
only from 5 p.m. to 8, from 5 to 8, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I just show it too. So Wednesday I call everybody and I say, listen, we're getting ready to get a
Accept an offer.
yes, and if you want to still see. So I have people who keep calling me. Yesterday somebody called me, a buyer, and this is the one who told me, I give you 420. I say it's not gonna price.
Right.
We're not going. See, I have 415.
I mean, the other thing I can tell you for those of us, whether you're on the buy side or selling side or listing side, if that happens, my recommendation is to address it head on and say, okay, we'll accept 420, but understand that it will not be contingent on an appraisal and there will be no credits given.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then if they don't move forward, you know that's their plan. Yeah,
but
exactly.
I know their house, they actually pay an inspector before we
Okay.
put on the market. So a house.
So you knew that there was nothing wrong. I think now more than ever, thank you, Maria, for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Now more than ever, our jobs,
Just to get listings.
well, it's to get listings, but I was going to say are more important than ever. If you're a buyer and you're if you need a home for any reason, it is not easy right now. It is not an easy market. It's a rat race. And they need people like us to guide them through their process.
And a very good lender.
And a very good
That's
lender.
the
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
another point. Thank you for bringing that up. I almost forgot.
Mhm.
Our current lender is great, but he's completely and totally swamped. I'm working on a second lender. I had a conversation with a gentleman named Mike Maneri. We're still kind of working out the specifics. Some of you have already interacted with him a little bit. I've gotten some good feedback. Once I get that finalized, I'll let everyone know, and that'll be a second lender option. He does have a Spanish speaking.
Is the one from Orlando?
Correct. I'm also going to have a third option. So that way, I think it'll be healthier for everyone. Healthy competition's good to make sure everyone's performing. And then you guys can have the option based on personality and based on preference of who you want to use. If you have good lenders that are interested in being a partner with the company, you can send them directly to me and I'll talk to them about it. But it's a like I said, it's a very interesting market, and you need the right people. You need the right agent and the right title company,
And
insurance and lenders. Yes.
Need the right team.
You need the right team.
Yeah.
Which is us.
Oh, and it's.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. All right. Anyone else have any? Yeah.
That COVID form, one of my clients asked me to have every single person that comes to the property sign it, and they want a copy of it. That's fine?
It's fine. I mean, it's
Annoying.
it's excessive, but sure. I mean, our society is one where people are quick to sue. So anything you can do to prevent that, and that's a good measure. Personally, I think it's a waste of time. But if you want to take that sort of precaution, and that's what your client wants, then do it. You have to, because they asked. Yeah.
I had to convince them.
I've gone to places, I've gone to showings that they did require that,
Yeah.
and they would keep like a few copies there, but then also like put it like in the documents, yeah, on the MLS, yeah.
Yeah, that's completely fine if somebody asks you.
Right.
And then they also asked that the agent wear gloves before they open the key. So or the lockbox, I was thinking just put a box of gloves there with a note,
Yeah.
agents, that's fine.
Absolutely. I mean, all the more things that we can do to make the environments healthy, whether it's having sanitizer or gloves or spray or whatever you can do, I encourage all of it. Using those forms is great. You know, sometimes it can be tedious. And so you guys have to use your best discretion as far as when. The other thing I want to talk about real quick before we end. What time is it? I don't know. When it comes to offers, right? Oh, what? Antonio?
Mhm.
Did I kill him?
Almost.
Sorry.
Has to be right.
Mhm.
The other thing I want to talk about real quick, when we have buyers that want to make offers, I don't know about you guys, but the way that I act is I drop everything. Timing is key. If you get an offer in tomorrow morning instead of tonight, it is very possible that property will be gone tomorrow or your client will change their mind. So timing is an enormous component when you are negotiating transactions. So urgency is key when it comes to offers. And that's something that I really want to make sure everyone understands. Does anybody else have any obstacles or challenges they want to talk about as a group? Any success stories? I would love anyone. Somebody on Zoom. There are 3, 6, 9. There's like 12 of us here. Bueller.
I actually made
This is so
ultimate
quiet.
guess.
Maybe I just talk a lot. All right, I guess I do. All right, well, everyone, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for calling in. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.